Thank God for your presence. We hope and pray that you will continue to honor the Creator in every day of our walk and encourage others to do so as well, that we be not as some Sunday morning Christians. We want to be Christians every day of the week, and I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about because you live it. So the idea is that, in this particular walk that we have to understand that there is more of battle than anything else that you will encounter. Nobody likes to fight. Everybody likes peace. And Jesus himself explained to us he did not bring peace when he came. He brought a sword. And the sword is needed as we continue to battle each and every day of our lives. So we want to talk about we must fight. And this is the key word, fight. And we're talking about a spiritual fight against. I have a reason I'm talking about this. All who oppose the covenant. This is the key, saints. The covenant of God. We are under the New Testament covenant. And so we're going to learn from the Old Testament exactly what you and I are supposed to do. One of the things that we have to understand is that the covenant is given to us. The covenant is given to the righteous saints. Very important to remember, brethren. Also, the covenant must be guarded. And that's the word we're talking about, guarded. Some of us are under the impression that God's going to take care of everything himself. Well, then why have us? I mean, all that fighting, all that bloodshed, all them people dying, making all them. God didn't come down to make no sword. Matter of fact, when he sent Moses out, he used the staff that he already had. You have to have something to use. You have to have something. You have to bring something to the table. The covenant, it must be guarded. The covenant must be guarded. It must be guarded. And you and I, this is the blessing, the covenant must be lived. See, we're in a spiritual covenant. Must be lived. And I wanted to say just like that. See, this is a covenant that we live. Brethren, if you allow people to destroy the covenant, I hope you and I understand they're destroying your life and mine. So you can't worship God if you don't protect what God gave us as a tool to worship. That covenant is in us. Jeremiah 31:31, he said through 34 that I will write in their heart. It's different than when he wrote on tablets. I'm going to put it in their mind, in their inward parts. And I will be their God, and they will be my people. The covenant is what's in you. If you let that get destroyed, brother, I hope we understand you don't have no more relationship with God. Somebody says, well, how is that possible? Well, you explain to me when the lesson is over, why are these people getting involved with 10 other tribes' business? They don't have enough problems of their own. They don't have enough work in Judah, among Judah and Benjamin. You trying to tell me that's not enough work to keep things right there? They don't have enough trouble on their plate already, along with their personal lives. They got priests down there that act crazy every now and then. They should be watching their own priests. I mean, after all, that's what was told Amos. Won't you go to Judah and teach? See, brethren, that's why hell got so big, and it's just swelling up like a balloon every day. Because somehow we think that God's Son is going to do all that work on the cross, and it's going to happen anyway. I mean, God's going to have his perfect will done anyway. Yeah, through us, brethren, you better believe it. Jesus is not preaching the gospel no more. Jesus is not doing any physical baptizing. Until you physically put someone in water, Jesus is not touching it. Jesus is not coming down here and getting in no debate with anybody. You and I will. Jesus is not coming and rebuking any elders or evangelists or Bible teachers. As the book of Revelation, so he wrote a letter. Said, if I got to come do something, it's going to be a problem. Because when he comes, he's going to destroy and take the candlestick. People think that Christ is out of the business of destruction. He's never retired. He's still in business. He said his Father and him have never took a day off. He said that day meant rest from what they were doing. He said we've worked hitherto and will continue. If they stop, you quit breathing, and so do I. The earth starts bumping into the moon and the sun. Everything starts. It has to be sustained by the power of the word. It has to always be in existence, mobile, functioning. So we have this big problem in the church, and it gets bigger every day, every year. Brethren get lazy, and I mean men and women. We're doing what we're supposed to do concerning the word of God. Everybody, I don't know nobody that would just love to have peace. But we go on our jobs and there's chaos. And we will clock in. Even if the clock broke, and they got to say, we ain't writing in today. We're going to make sure we write in and sign it. We're going to work on time. We're going to work. We're going to make money and we're going to prosper. We don't care if it's a new guy. Say, did you hear they just fired the supervisor that was here last week? Well, who's in control now? Bob. We don't like Bob, but whatever Bob says, we're going to hop like a bunny and do it. You can take it to the bank. But we think for some reason that the devil cares about a job. He could care less. This is why he's bringing it to the saints. If you think there's not going to be chaos in the church, brethren, you and I are drunken, and we need to wake up. If you don't think that another congregation can affect you, brethren, we're drunk. We better wake up. Because I'm telling you now, I know for a fact, I watched congregation. In just a few years I've been on the earth in the church, I watched congregation affect others. I watched other congregations say, well, it never happened here. And I watched them evolve like a duck turning into an eagle. I watched them over the years. See, I'm 55, and I'm telling you that for 56, I lost track, and I got so old. And I'm telling you for a reason, let you know I've been in the church for a few years long enough to watch other churches die. I'm just that old. I remember when there's congregations that exist now, you would say, oh man, you would never even walk in and act like you're going to do that there. Because they've been affected. And the thing I love about this lesson is Judah was in a mode at this time. They got crazy later. But at this time they were in a mode with a weakling like Abijah as their king. They had enough gumption to say, no. We're going and start some mess over there because you're destroying the covenant. But wait a minute, somebody say, well, why do they care? We got two different kings. That's why we got two different kings, because your daddy Solomon acted a fool. That's why we got two kings. If he had to act like he had some sense and left them crazy women alone he's messing with, let them take his strength after King Nemuel is clearly saying, by his mother saying, don't give women your strength. That's what he did. He gave them the strength. That's what it means, give them the strength. Let them rule you. They ruled him. Had him building churches for him. Already had a temple, Already, he definitely wasn't no church for the Lord because he already had a temple. And that's what happens, brethren. And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at what motivates men to be weak. It's in their heart. Don't try to guess it. Just look at the weakness and correct it. Now, we're going to look at this. I want to show you this first. Look at Romans chapter 15. I want you to understand, brethren, that you and I will always be learning from the Old Testament. Always. Always, always. Because they are our forefathers. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1 through 10. And we will always be mimicking their physical pattern in a spiritual way in the New Testament. There are some things you can't even do. That Paul and their New Testament. We can't speak in tongues. We can't do miracles. So that's nothing for us to understand metaphoric language. But even Paul pointed out the understanding of baptizing and being righteous comes from the forefathers as they went through the cloud and went through the sea with Moses. So Romans 15, it says in verse 4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime, this would be the Old Testament, were written for our learning. And what do we learn? That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So they showed patience in going against a tribe that is 10 to their 2. And they showed that they would receive comfort in the scriptures. But they had to fight to get that comfort that God would protect them. If God just wanted to wipe the other people out, he could have just wiped them out. But that wasn't how he's going to do it. He's not going to do it in your life, brother. God's not going to take care of a problem at another congregation and you just not say nothing when you know you should say something at some point, at least to one where you work at and labor. Don't let that happen. See, we just think because it's not somewhere here that's not coming. Brethren, I love to go. I don't even have time to list. We stayed 4 or 5 hours. I wouldn't have time to tell you the list of churches I saw in my short lifetime that went sour. This is all they saw. Yeah, they're sour grapes. The kind that God said he would not eat, although he perfectly took care of his garden where the grapes supposed to be growing right. And see, brethren, the reason being is, if you can explain to me why they in these people's business, then we need to make sure that we're fighting and that we are starting trouble. See, don't wait till no, you bring the trouble to them. Because if you don't, you know what it's like. If you understand the body, you know, if a doctor doesn't stop cancer, we getting ready to bury you or me. Because it's going to spread. That's what Paul said in the New Testament. Their doctrine eats as a canker, which is cancer. Brethren, you can't just let it flow. See, because God is looking and say, okay, now, if there was a physical cancer in your brethren, you'd be over there crying, bringing flowers, cutting their yard. But a spiritual cancer, they're not going to cut the lies. Not going to even talk about it. Not going to even mention it. You say, and we see them all the time. We see them in Hub, we see them in Kroger's, and we won't say nothing to them. And brother, you might say, why are we talking about this? I need you to explain to me why they in these people's business. They got their own king. Take care of yours. Don't worry about nobody. But God says, no, it's my country, the church. It's my people, the saints. It's my power, the Holy Spirit. And God says, I tell you what to do. God has never put us on autopilot. We haven't been on autopilot since the day Adam took his first breath and sucked up air. We have been never on autopilot. Christ has always been on the throne, always ruling, always watching, always talking. They said the rock they drank from when Israel drank was Christ. 1 Corinthians 10. Let these wicked Catholics start no lies about church going in the dark age. The saints have always had the light. Remember Egypt. Pitch black, so black you could feel it. And they were light, bright, light in a stadium. They could see everything. And they knew they in darkness. They knew the rest of the people in darkness. Saints have never. If the saints ever went in darkness, then that part of the Bible is a lie. It lied. Moses lied. Israel was in darkness like the rest. He's showing in the physical, I never let my children walk in the darkness. And in the spiritual, we've never been in the dark. Saints have never lost Bibles. Never. That's those lies Alexander Campbell and other heathens told as they slid in like the snakes they were through the back door of the church and stole. And what they couldn't steal, they robbed. What they couldn't rob, they destroyed. And that's why we run around and saying things like, you see the spirit through the word, foolishness like that. Some you can't find grouped in the Bible. Same men that wear the title doctor, teacher. Now when you see this, we're just going to read and we're going to learn and we're going to live the covenant that we got. We're going to learn they refused, even though they knew they knew they were going to get whooped. And they really was shown they should have got whooped when Jeroboam proved, I'm a better strategist than you, Abijah. I'm a better soldier than you. I'm a better king than you. I'm a better ruler than you. I got God's made of gold. I make my own priest, and nobody gonna stop me. Look behind you. You finna die. And he should have died, except for God. Because God said, yeah, you went right to the battle like I told you. Now I'm fixing to let you win. Now if they'd have ran, they'd have died. But we better try to wait. That's what this is for us to learn. See, we got to read it. Takes a little bit more reading, unfortunately, because it's an Old Testament. Got to tell you the background story. Just can't go just run to prayer, repentance, confession, and baptism, because this one is going to tell you how to walk in the church spiritually against all that oppose. Now, we've heard our brother give us the information, but we want to find out, how did Jeroboam even get in power? Look at 1 Kings 11. How did he get in power? God put him in power? I hope everybody know Jehovah God put him in power. So don't get excited when you say, well, is that guy a real preacher or a real elder? You better believe he's as real as you are. He's as real. He's blood bought by the Lamb just like you. And God put him there. In many cases, God directly put him there. Many cases. Acts 20 and 28. Paul said, some of you are going to rise up. As you read the next verse, he said, and take over the flock. But he said in the beginning, the Holy Ghost made you overseer. The Holy Ghost gave you the job. But Paul ordained, but the Holy Ghost gave the job, because Paul picked the best that they had. So in many cases, you're going to see, you can bet somebody say, well, I wonder if God put that one there. Well, just ask how he got ordained. And when it adds up right, say, yep, God put him there. Put that evangelist there. That's right. Put that Bible teacher there. So why is it going right? Because I don't want to listen to God no more. I'm making some gold calves. I'm going to make priests of who I want. It don't matter what you say. You are the saints over there. Well, let's see what happens to evil beasts like that. First Kings chapter 11 and 29. And it came to pass at that time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem that the prophet Ahijah the Shilonite found him in the way, and he had him clad himself with a new garment, and they two were alone in the field. This is God announcing who's this man going to be. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. And he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon and will give thee 10 tribes. What? But Solomon don't like the boy already in Solomon. I said, this boy pretty smart, I got to watch him. Well, God don't care who we like. God says, I'm going to put it. Now you may say, well, did God do this? I said, Jeroboam was perfect for the job. Perfect. He just didn't want to do right. See, remember now, God will never make no mistakes. He's perfect for the job. His mind clicks at a point, and he says, now they will kill me, and they will go to Jerusalem. Well, you already know they was going to go 3 times a year. You already know. When you leave, you already know. Now they're going to worship Jesus, and they're not going to worship me. You already know that. Now they're going to listen to everything Jesus says, and you already know that. Now I've got to read every word Jesus said, and you already know that. But the problem is I don't want to deal with that no more, so I'm going to shift gears. Nobody went and became a Philistine of the 10 tribes. Nobody went, got a Philistine, and made him a priest. Just take the guys who do not qualify, and everyone knows that they don't qualify, because I'm taking over. And if I make a priest, he'll be my puppet. So it's easy to see. It's no more easy to see then as it is now. But the problem is now you got to ask yourself, did Jeroboam not understand? Well, when we think about that next time, you say, maybe the brother don't understand. Well, what is he doing being a leader? If God picked him, he got to understand. You got to ask, did God pick him? Now, if God didn't pick him, he immediately sit him down. See, brethren, let me tell you something about this. You can't debate the Father. God picked him. He's just a crook. He's perfect for the job. He can do it. But he decides, I'm going to hit, like the movie says, I'm taking pill, the red pill, not the blue. I don't want to see no more about religion. I just want to be the leader. Brethren, you can't be that dumb and be selected by God. That's impossible. To not be able to read and comprehend and grab hold of the spiritual man. Well, you just can't. And be a leader? That means God set the church up for failure. He never does that. So let's see what happened. He says, verse 32. But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake. Now, there are actually two tribes there, Judah and Benjamin. But Benjamin is so little because of when they began to become homosexuals, that's right, and they acted so crazy with the Levite. He was crazy too, and his concubine throwing a woman out to a bunch of malnourished spiritual men and telling them do what you want with her that night. And that's when the battle started. They tore up Benjamin so bad, as Brother Carter's lesson years ago before, that they had to tell him stop because we're going to kill up that whole tribe. Busting them down real low. And they've always been a little bitty tribe. They were tough, left-handed warriors. They'll knock your eyes out a mile away with that left hand throwing that stone and a slingshot. They could fight, but they was just little. And it always says one thing, it's twos. Gonna be so small it combined into Judah. They were righteous just like Judah. After that whooping, you get a whooping like that, you get right. But nevertheless, it's called one tribe. For Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, because they have forsaken me, verse 33, and have worshipped. Let's see, now this is the problem God got. Ashtoreth, the goddess of the zone. Now, ask yourself, what's the big deal with if you want to worship Ashtoreth? I mean, my goodness, Ahab going to marry a girl that's a Zidonian. I mean, my goodness, she worships Baal, Jezebel. What's the big deal? What business is that of yours, Judah? Stay out that business. Handle your own. Do your work. Because the covenant says, God says, you fight when I say fight. You do what I say do. You don't get to run nothing. I tell you what to do. And if I want you to go out there and die for me, you said you love me, then die for me on the field. We'll bury, we'll feed your family later. That's what God, they already knew. They already knew if I die in battle, my family going to be taken care of, kids going to be taken care of. If I don't have a brother or neighbor going to take me and make me his own, going to give me his name, going to make sure the name gets raised up under my name, everything going to be all right. I'm ready to die for the Lord. Saints won't even talk about the Lord sometimes, let alone having to give up their physical right. What if you went to work one morning and say, okay, homecoming Monday, this is the day, it's a good day to die, brother. You'd be like, what are you talking about? They're coming to kill all saints who work for Kroger's. What? Every saint will be murdered today. I bet you, I wonder how many I'm sick, too sick to come to work calls with Kroger's get that day from saints. Amen. So he says, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways. See, it's part one, worshiping false God. Why is that such a big problem with God? There is no real Milcom. Why is that a problem? Because God says, your spirit is what communes with me. Not your flesh, not the gold statue, your spirit. And when I come to hug your spirit, you're vile and filthy. Because you got Chemosh on your mind. I see Chemosh's name in your heart. I don't want to touch you. What man would hug his wife with a big old gold chain on her neck saying, I belong to Billy next door? I'd like to see y'all hug. Yeah, what that mean, babe? You going to ask something. What that mean? It's not a joke, baby. I belong to Billy next door. He paid the rent today, too. You know what? Some people are so blind, oh, God would have to take them to that level to help them see sometimes. It's so sad. Nevertheless, well, I say, I don't want you. He says, to do that which is right. He said, you've backed away in my eyes from doing that, to keep my statutes and my judgment, as did David his father. Now, we have to understand something here. When you look at this, you got to remember something. Jeroboam is placed under the realm of David, his father, as David being his father. Because God has said, okay, you're going to be the king over 10 tribes. You came out of Solomon's house. I know you're the son of Nebat, but you came out of Solomon's house. So, I expect, look at this, brother, I expect you to walk just like David. Why would he say his father for him? Because God looked in Jeroboam's heart, and he knew. At one point, Jeroboam's heart was like, man, I want to run right. If I was king, I'd be like David. How you know that? Because God didn't pick no dud. But when he got the seat, the chair felt so good. Man, I could really run this thing kind of like I want. I don't want to share nothing with no Rehoboam. Rehoboam wasn't no good. Jeroboam had the opportunity to be the first and the only king to walk right amongst the 10 tribes of Israel. To outlast the Jehus who started out right and south. He just couldn't do it. So, brethren, don't always beat up the church or the evangelist who ordained somebody in some of these congregations that you have to deal with, because sometimes it's a flawless situation. Nothing was wrong. Just I switched gears. That chair felt so good, I switched gears. I needed to go a little faster than God was taking us. And so he says, howbeit I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince of all the days of his life. For David, my servant, say, whom I chose, because he kept my commandments and statutes. Now remember, Solomon has acted a fool. Now I want us to understand now, this is the example that Jeroboam follows. But it's talking about Solomon. I hope we understand what it's talking about. See, Solomon is the one. Remember, this is when Jeroboam is king. Now, Solomon is the one that goes there. He's worshiping Ashtoreth. Can you believe the wisest man ever to be created? There'll never be another one like him. Can't tell the difference between God and this is a woman God. Well, he could at least, maybe he got confused with Milcom or Dude, but a woman God? When did God become a woman? Let's see. So, but this is exactly is what Jeroboam's going to do. Now, he runs from this house. Eventually, you'll see. Like it's so nasty and crazy. And then he turns right around when he gets his power. And he does the same. The prophet Ahijah forewarns him. Now, this is why he's taking it from Solomon. He's getting his mind prepared to accept reality. You can be greater. Solomon's so scared of you. He's been watching you. But you can be greater if you listen to God. You can eclipse Solomon if you listen to God. He's going to let him know. He says, verse 36, and unto his son I will give one tribe, that David, my servant, may have a light all the way before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there. In verse 37, and I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all thy soul desire. Look at that. And shall be king over Israel. Boy, don't get no better than that. Then he goes the same way. And I will make you a rule over all the nations. Revelation says, and I'll give you a rod that you can bust up all the other nations like pots, like a potter does. That's us. We rule. We reign. We rule with Christ right now. Because he's reigning now. That's why you rule all nations with the rod. This is the rod, the word. Don't look at Jeroboam so ugly. We're just like him if we don't repent. Some of these brethren we love so much, they're nothing but, like Henry says, modern day Jeroboam. They're given the reign. I'm not talking about being evangelist or an elder. I'm talking about being given the reign as a saint. Rule with the scepter of righteousness, the word. But he just don't want to act right. Verse 38, it shall be if thou wilt hearken unto all I command thee, and will walk in my ways, and do that which is right in my sight, to keep my statutes and my commandments, not as crooked Solomon. And I'm just saying that, Paul. See, he's getting the teaching. If you do what I'm telling you, as David, my servant, did, that I will be with thee, and build thee a house, as I built for David, and will give Israel to thee. Now, he said, I'll build you a house. Well, I'm going to build you a house. Jeroboam said, I'm going to build my own house. I said, all right, thank you. I don't need that. Y'all young people have that mentality sometimes. I'll make my own way. If you don't want to be with me, I'll make my own way. Then you end up going to a funeral. How you going to make your own way? They always forget that there's a God. When people get old, they feel like, I'm some years old now. I ain't going to take no lot of foods. Like they done became Jesus because we done got old. Believe God is still older. So he says, and I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. Well, that's a mighty warning. Verse 40, Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam rose and fled into Egypt, and Shishak, king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. Boy, had to run all the way back to the land that they got out of just to get away from Solomon. So Solomon said, I'm going to kill him. Like you going to fix the problem. You should have got your raggedy life together. I'm talking about back before it got to this point, you wouldn't be scared of Solomon. Wouldn't be worried about it. I mean, of Jeroboam. Wouldn't be concerned about the boys prospering. Because God has you as king. But Solomon just would not. So, now we go back to the 13th chapter. Now we know who this guy is. This guy is going to make the 2 golden calves and say, these are the gods that brought you out of Egypt. Lied on the Lord. He made priests, not just the people who weren't Levites, but they were low scoundrels, crooks. He eventually makes himself a priest. This is history. You can look him up because we don't have time to go through that. And now we want to look at, I'm still wondering, why they in this man's business? If you making the shewbread and you got the right priest, just look, you serve the Lord. Don't you hear that from your brethren? You just serve Jesus and don't look back to the left or the right. In essence, don't get in my business because I'm going to do what I want. No. See, because that was a physical covenant with spiritual application. But brethren, we got the real spiritual covenant. And you better believe if I see you in Kroger's and you've been acting a fool, I don't care if you're the mightiest preacher on earth, I'm going to check you right there in Kroger's as quiet as I can. And if you don't like it, when you see me at Walmart, go the other way because I'm coming for you. Is that my son's? Hey! Because you touching the spiritual covenant, you're ruining it. And you're going to have a whole bunch of more little baby crooks just like you, not born, but born under your regime in the church. And they're going to be more infiltrating. They're going to be everywhere. Everywhere we go, they're coming up with this idea. Women should do more inside the world. Everywhere we go, we got to deal with you. Women can baptize, got to deal with you. And then before you know it, one of our sisters believe it. And then now anything we say, they scrutinize. And everything come out of our mouth. You know how frustrating that gets? Read Hebrews 13. You know how frustrating that get? Verse 7. Look at that. You know how frustrating it get? It makes a leader say, I'm tired of doing this. I don't want to do it no more. That's what it'll do. And you may say, well, that's his thing. But let me show you something how God works. There's a hole in the gap now. It's a gap. And all sorts of nasty stuff start coming in. Badgers, snakes. See, when you have a vineyard, turn to Hebrews 13. You got to have somebody standing there or till they repair. So you can't go, let's go eat lunch and we'll come back. Don't take a fox that long to see you not. He been watching you. He's saying, there's no image there. I'm going to get some grapes. You know what the grapes are? Saints. You know what they're taking? They're taking the belief. And then you say, well, how's it going to affect me? They're going to tear up everything you're trying to do to serve God. See, God don't let you have peace, brethren. You got somebody just holding the thought of Balaam in his heart. You don't have to tell, just let him hold it. You know what the letter says? They're holding the doctrine, but just let him hold it. Every time you come with something, for some reason, they don't want to do it. Like, I don't think we should do this. Like, why just brother and sister oppose everything? Because I got Balaam in my heart, baby. Not Jesus. That's why I'm opposed. So the Lord said, so what did he ask them to do? Teach again. The more you keep teaching, they're going to get tired of hearing about how bad a guy Balaam is. And eventually, they're going to say, I got to go. I'm tired of hearing them talking about Balaam like that. I don't know why we just can't talk about Jesus. Because Balaam have to be called out too. You can't just talk about Jesus. You got to call out the problem. That's what the 7 letters dealt with. 5 of them rebukes. So you can't do it our way, saints. We don't have enough knowledge, we don't have enough strength, we don't have enough wisdom, we don't have enough power, we don't have enough weaponry. God knows, okay, the problem is right here, and you're fighting over there. No, the problem is right here. Cut it right here. So look at Hebrews 13, verse 7. Remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of God, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation. Consider that where are they now? How are they walking? If they died, then it is the end. Consider, think about it, and look at verse 17. Here comes the sorrow part. Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourself, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account. You're not just watching because I'm just a great guy. No, I got to give an account. Like you go take inventory. You go take inventory at your job. If it's supposed to be 40 chairs and you got 20, somebody's going to have, well, there were 20 chairs. They weren't there when I got there. Well, you the one locked it up last night. There's some problems now. So they have to give an account. That they may do it with joy and not with grief. For that is unprofitable for you. Well, how is it unprofitable? Because if we got to do it with grief, I was just trying to say, well, bro, just tell me what you got to say. Just tell me. Don't try to be my dad or my God. Just tell. See, now that's grieving. Next time, I'm not going to tell you nothing because you give my stomach pain. Trying to tell you, man. Somebody says, he going to go to hell? No, because you brought that and you've wearied the leader. He's sick of dealing with it. So he says, nah, I'll tell him next time because I know they're going to act crazy. So who don't profit? It didn't say the leader don't profit, did it? It said you won't profit. See, God has this thing perfectly balanced, saints. See, if we don't think we need each other, my brethren, like the man laughed in the song, ha, 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 bless your soul, you don't have no idea what's going on. We need each other. You're not getting to heaven without each other. Not happening, brethren. The men and the women need each other. There's no church existing without the man and the woman. I believe the brother was talking about that when he was reading the scriptures. The importance of instructing women. The importance of understanding their value in the church. Some men think that women have no value in the church other than to serve cookies when it's VBS or something. It's ridiculous. But they have to speak with the word like everybody else will understand, but still the value is just as important as the man. Just a different value. The different angle, should I say, is coming from. Different angle. Same value, different angle. You can have two different tools, a wrench and a screwdriver. Both are valuable. One has a process, the other doesn't. Both valuable. Wait till you need the wrench and try to use the screwdriver, vice versa, you fail. You don't get the thing done. So we understand it. So we don't want to be like that. Let's go back as we wrap up here in the book of 2 Chronicles. And we're going to pull out the highlights. He says concerning the man Abijah, verse 3, 2 Chronicles 13:3. And Abijah set the battle in array with an army of valiant men of war, even 400,000 chosen men. Jeroboam also set the battle in array against him. 800,000 chosen men, being mighty men of battle. This is not an army that you just draft. God come up there, he just drafting everybody. No, this is chosen. It's okay, I want to see you do something. Can he throw the spear? How good? Let me see. Is this the best guy you got this? Hey, and they double your number. Saints, there's nobody wins battles like this. You can't win when there's 2 men to 1. If you kill one, there's another guy. Now you took all that energy to kill that one. And here's another guy fresh. He's ready. Who you think gonna win the second battle? He got you now. You cut up from the first guy. This guy has no cuts. He skewers you. Drops you like a bad dream. And the idea is you can't win without God. The enemy is more powerful than you in their carnal presence. His speech will be better than yours. They will be just gravitated to by the community. Because it's 2 against 1, you can't win. You can say, the more you talk against them, that's just things, how they look. Brother, are you jealous? That's who you like that. You can't win. They love them. The speech is fair and yours is rude, rugged, but truthful. You've lost already without Christ. You've lost because your weapons are spiritual, and their problem is spiritual. As a Corinthian letter said, so you use your spiritual weapon, boom, victory every time. Boom. And the people marvel, how did they lose? How Babylon is fallen. Because Babylon was so pretty. Like, nobody can beat Babylon, man. Guys got armies, they got the challenge, they know the stars, they know the weather. And they fail. Every nation said, how beautiful she was. Babylon was on top. You think America's a joke compared to Babylon. When do we drink out of gold stuff? You got a few people on earth drink out of gold. A couple of folk. Man, please. So what is this man told? He says, verse 4, Abijah stood up upon Mount Zemarium, which is in Mount Ephraim, and said, hear me, thou Jeroboam. I'm still wondering, saints, I need you to explain to me, what is he worried about this man? You don't have no work in Jerusalem? They told Amos, go back and preach. That's the king's house, man. They've been telling Judah that from the beginning. Go back to Judah. That's the king's house. We don't want to hear that. Why don't you go tell them what to do? Y'all got problems of y'all own over there, too. And they did. They had crazy priests. Abijah is going to act crazy. But God said, go. He didn't ask. He said, go. He'll take care of Judah. Don't worry about none of that. That's what's wrong with the brethren. And I found out very clearly in my walk. Every time you get in the way when God's swinging at an enemy, you get knocked out too. So stay back and get behind the Lord and watch him swing away. If you get in his way, he'll hit you. Just like when you whoop on your children. What happened? You went up for the stroke and the other little one got in the way. You already told him to go sit down. Whop, you got ow! You might hit him again. I told you get out the way, boy. Right? Yeah, he should have got out the way. Because God is whooping. And everybody need to stand still and do what's told. So he says in verse 5, ought you not to know that the Lord God of Israel gave the kingdom over to Israel, to David? Well, is he bragging? Is he boastful? Is he trying? Is he jealous? He don't want to share? No, it's a law. He says, even to him and to his sons by a covenant of salt. The covenant of salt is forever. Numbers 18 and 19. It is forever. Once that covenant of salt is done, it don't change. That's it. Salt involved, well, that's it. Sorry. Can't change that one. So Abijah knows what he's saying. Verse 6, yet Jeroboam the son of Nebat, the servant of Solomon, the son of David, is risen up and had rebelled against his Lord. And there are gathered unto him vain men, the children of Belial. And you know what? You got to watch the children of Belial now. That's a real saint gone bad. He's not a Philistine. He's a real saint, just bad. A naughty saint. Club hopping saint. Gin drinking till they drunk saint. Yeah, that's right. Weed smoking saint. Don't make it real plain. Saints having sex and not married saint. Saints married with boyfriend and girlfriend on the side. Homosexual saints. That's right. Y'all making it real plain. Somebody go, I didn't understand. I'm making real plain. Lying saints. Stealing saints. Cheating saints. Saints that don't like to come to church. Saints don't like their parents tell them what to do. Saints don't like the husband tell them what to do. Saints don't like the wife tell them what to do. Them kind of saints. Saints that don't study saints. See, they're believers, but they're there for another reason. That's blessings being a son of Belial. See, you with David folks. You with the righteous. Man, you got blessings falling everywhere. Land never going to be ravished because you with the righteous. But God says, okay, but when you die, the party is over. So he says, I don't never want you being no priest. Never. And so he says, and have strengthened themselves against Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, when Rehoboam was young and tenderhearted and could not withstand them. Now, y'all remember something. Now, Rehoboam is not right himself. But the problem is, God doesn't like it when you take advantage. Listen to this real carefully, saying, when you take advantage of a brother or sister when they're down, or they trying to figure out what's going on. He takes that person. He says, I'm going to personally come and send an army to kill you because you bothered him when it wasn't time. You didn't even let him get strong. Remember how he hated the Amalekites? So you know why? Because he said they caught Israel when they was first coming out. Man, they nervous, coming out the land, the new land, and they kept attacking and bothering. And that's why he told Saul, I want you to go. I want you to kill. I want you to lead the advisor. The woman with a baby or something, you see she got a bulge, take the knife, rip it out, take the babies that's in her arm, kill her, and take her baby, take by the leg and bust him on the stone. You believe, you know how hard that is to do? You look, you know, you got a baby. But the Lord says, see, you don't have no love for this people because your forefathers, they attacked them when they were just coming out and they didn't know what was happening. You say, well, wasn't God protecting? Yeah, but he let it happen. Let him know. So see, if I let you, you'll kill all my people. So I'm going to get you. I'm going to wipe your name off the map. I'm going to leave your bodies for the bird. And every nation that passed by, I say, now this what he did. You know who that? They look and say, that's Amalekites out there. Who killed them? The children of Israel, the one with the invisible God. And Saul, so stupid, couldn't follow instructions. Brings back some animals in the king. See, God wanted to see the king did. They go to the king. Why the king? He in Israel. What? I guess he got away. Nobody knows. See, now God says, okay, Saul, I'm taking the kingdom from you because you don't listen. See, brethren, remember this. Read your Bible so you know what God said. It's no understanding from God when you don't know what he said. That's what he told the Sadducees. You don't know God. You don't know his power. Jesus said, but that's why he said, no, that's why you don't know. Because God is still dictating what we do. He's still on the throne. And he's telling you and me, if you want the covenant to stay in you, you better fight. Because it's even more vulnerable now. Because it's inside. It can take you out if you lose it. I say, well, how do you lose? Because what you and I don't understand is their thoughts permeate your heart. Like the sword stuck through flesh, their thoughts, it's a sword, but it's a devil's sword, and it comes in your heart. And you start thinking, well, why do we take the Lord's Supper every Sunday? And you never thought that to the congregation down the street start teaching. And they look like you, they talk like you, they walk like you, they got a name like you, and so you listen to what they say, man, really? But ain't nobody read none of no Bible yet. Just talking about good reason and good thought, laying it out. We could be the same to another congregation. That's why we talk about walking upright, so we don't poison someone else, brethren. That's why. Because it's easy to do. That's why this man, he has to step up and do something. And so he says, and now you think, verse 8, it's really getting bad. So that wasn't enough. Now you think he would stand the kingdom of the Lord in the hand of the sons of David, and you be a great multitude, and therewith you golden calves, which Jeroboam made for your gods. Have you not cast out the priests of the Lord? See, remember one of the 10 tribes that went with him. You know, God loved Jeroboam, so he sent the whole priesthood. He sent the whole priesthood with him. They were going to be served now, but one of the 10 tribes is a priesthood. They was in his back door, so to speak. They were part of his 10. He said, y'all, he ran them off in this. He said, yo, man, get on up. I don't want y'all. I'll come get my own priest. That's what he said. You cast them out. He says, the sons of Aaron, the Levite, and have made you priests after the manner of the nations of other land, so that whosoever cometh to consecrate himself with a young bullock and 7 rams, the same may be priests of them that are no God. Isn't that beautiful? And see, you say, well, what does it matter? They're not no gods. They're Catholic. Yeah, but the people are looking. They're looking and saying, see, that's how Judah did with Israel. That's what the Lord said. You were always close to me when he cast them all out. He said, but you did what your sister did. See, they kept looking at them cats. They got priests, y'all. They got priests now. Yeah, but brother, you don't understand. They're priests that are not of the Levite, because the Levite wouldn't be dealing with no cat. Well, brother, I don't know. All I know is I saw some priests there. You're like, my Lord, brother, you in trouble. It got so frustrating. They eventually won Judah's heart. That's why Jerusalem was destroyed. This is the reason, bro. They eventually won Judah's heart. They started having their calves. So he says, but as for us, the Lord is our God, verse 10, and we have not forsaken him. And the priests which minister unto the Lord are the sons of Aaron, and the Levites wait upon their business. And they burn unto the Lord every morning and every evening burnt sacrifice and sweet incense, the shewbread also. Set they in order upon the pure table, and the candlestick of gold with the lamps thereof to burn every evening. For we keep the charge of the Lord our God, but you have forsaken him. All that stuff don't mean nothing. Look, man, just a priest is a priest. Love the Lord with all your heart. Do good to people. They said, no, man, we got to do this. Then we got to take the Lord's Supper still every Sunday. No instruments, no pitch pipes, no beating on the chair. That's right. Same thing, same thing. No women preachers, still be no women baptizing on the side, on the down low. No sisters reading scriptures because they don't want them. They want to go to heaven too. Nobody with titles. You'll never see straight with a title. I'm telling you now, brethren, you'll never see straight with a title. Because that's the first thing blinds you, is you even yourself with Christ. He said in Matthew 23. They were already being called rabbis. See, we never were called doctors in the church. They started there. But they were already called rabbi. How'd you like to already been called a doctor and then told you can't be called one anymore? That'd be hard. We were never called doctors. We would never call, I got a 4-year baccalaureate degree. Nobody ever used nonsense like that. So we had nothing to adjust. But we brought it in because it sounds good, looks good, tastes good, smells good. Better than that old drab brother and sister. And then we wonder why the brother can't see. Wonder why his wife can't see. Wonder why the saints can't see. They can't see that. How can they see the other stuff, brethren? But we want these guys not to see a golden calf. What's the difference? How you know? The God you serve invisible too. They saying that God invisible. He just in the golden calf. Oh, we got a win-win now. He just in the golden calf. You know, God all up in there. At least we know where I was at. He could have used arguments like that. No, our God isn't associated with silver and gold. But y'all got silver and gold stuff. Yeah, but we serve with that. Moses raised a brazen serpent. Yeah, but we didn't worship it. Some did later and they had to destroy it. Brethren, you see how easy it is just to share some words without reading of the direct scripture, and man, it's my game, it's yours, it's whatever. It's basically whatever. Let's wrap this up. Our time is done. He says, now with this thought in your heart and this thought in our mind, it's time for battle. See, but Jeroboam ain't no slouch now. He's a conniver. And so verse 12, and behold, here's the key. God himself is with us for a captain. Game over. You already win. Whoever got God as the captain, that's the winner. That's the winner. You might as well go and move your chair to the chair you carry in the bleachers and go on that side. Say, excuse me, why you coming over here? Because God the captain, they going to win. I know if going to win this battle. I say, give me some popcorn, but you're going to make, I don't need to see it. I already know who's going to win. Give me some popcorn. Because God is your captain. He never loses. He says, and his priests with sounding trumpets to cry alarm against you, O children of Israel. And then he warns them, fight not against the Lord God your Father, for you will not prosper. He's not doing it to boast. He's trying to help them. He said, children of Israel, don't do this. But Jeroboam caused an ambush to come about behind them, so that they were before Judah, and the ambush was behind. You finna get whooped now. And when Judah looked back, behold, the battle was before and behind, and they cried to the Lord, and the priests saw. But wait, they didn't run. They cried, it was okay. We didn't expect this. Lord, bop, 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 blow the trumpet. The captain, pop, game over. Then the men of Judah gave a shout. As the men of Judah shouted, it came to pass that God smote Jeroboam and all Israel before Abijah Judah. Man, I love this story. We got a wrap up. And the children of Israel fled before Judah, and God delivered them into their hand. There's no, see, it's not all. See, when they ran, you still got to go kill them now. Man. See, you got to do something. He smites them. Bam! And everybody gets nervous. Okay, now go kill them. There you go. They gone, y'all. Let them alone. No, don't let them alone. Go get them. Finish it. You got to finish it. If we saw that blood, heads rolling around, swords cut off head, arms, fingers, legs, I know pretty sight. People throwing up. You see that? You're not gonna see nobody. Oh man, I'm sick. Yeah, that's about it. That's exactly right. You might get there. Ooh, there's so much debate in the church. Ooh, girl, I'm about to faint. Yeah, you about to faint, girl. Get you some water. But the debate will go on. Because you can't let them get away, because they're just going to go regroup somewhere else. So you got to expose it spiritually. The same love was given to them. He says, then the men of Judah gave a shout. They won this battle. Verse 17, Abijah and his people slew them with great slaughter. It's a lot of people die. We see great slaughter. A lot of people die. You know, these are real people like you and me, right? They killed each other up, brethren, right? Slaughter, murder, death. Somebody got to put the remains away. Saints act like stuff is so different. Just as it appeared to them physically, the smell. I passed by a rotten box that just had the remnants of a catfish droppings. It was so stinky, I could hardly. Can you imagine that would have been a human flesh still there? Just like it smells that bad, to you it's going to smell that bad spiritually. You say, ooh, somebody got killed in here. What's going on? His body's everywhere. Same thing. If you're too squeamish, you don't have a right to enter heaven. Just don't. He says, and Abijah and his people, they won the victory. Verse 18, the children of Israel were brought under at that time, and the children of Judah prevailed because they relied upon the Lord God of their fathers. Did y'all see that? Not on their wisdom, not on their strength, not on their money, not on their influence with the city hall, not on the great men that they sat at the feet, because they relied on the law. How do we rely on his strength? Repeat his word. Repeat his word, brethren. Love me, but don't love me and send yourself to hell. Repeat the word, and we're done. He says, and Abijah pursued after Jeroboam and took cities of him, Bethel the towns thereof, and Jeshanah with the towns thereof, and Ephraim with the towns thereof. Neither did Jeroboam regain strength. And that's the part I want to make sure we get. He never got back. You know, somebody said, well, he can always get together. You know what, brother? That's a night, and it rolls off the tongue like honey off a biscuit. He can get back together. I'd like to ask you, says who? Says who? I'm going to have to see it before I believe it. I need to see it, because God waiting to see it. This one didn't. And Abijah and the Lord struck him, and he died. He never did regain. Then the Lord killed him. He never did get his arm back. Then the Lord said, I'm going to just kill you. I'm going to kill you. I don't know why people try to make God a soft wimp. Man, if you want to get scared, just ask the devil what to do when God comes, and he'll let you know. Run. That's what he did. He withstood the archangel because he can fight him. Wasn't enough that one-on-one, mano on mano, angel on angel. You got whooped up out of heaven real good, battle against military battle. But it's just us. But God came by himself, and we couldn't find you no more. Satan, don't even hear nothing about your name no more. And God buried Moses. Didn't even say, and Satan attempted to oppose, and God buried Moses. Opposition gone. That's what you and I need to do, brethren. Remove the opposition. Because if you think it's not going to affect, see, you think it's going to affect my family. No, it's going to affect you. Because if God says go get rid of something and we don't get rid of it, he's letting us know it's going to come back and get you too. If you hear you're not a member of the church, if you believe Jesus died, was buried, the third day, rose again. 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 4. If you're willing to be baptized, Mark 16 and 16, he that believes and is baptized shall be saved, he that believes not shall be damned. If you're willing and desirous to confess Jesus the Son of God, Acts chapter 8. If you believe what Peter said, verse 37, men and brethren, what shall we do? What shall you do? Change and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus Christ for the remission of sins. You shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost, the promises of you, your children, all that are far. Even as many as the Lord our God shall call. And many other words he testified, encouraging them, save yourself from this untoward, which is perverted generation. Then they gladly received his word. They were baptized the same day. 3,000 souls added unto him, and they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and breaking of bread and in prayers. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. Acts 2:38 through 42 and verse 47. You believe that. You believe that. And you're listening to the CD. You desire to be baptized. You don't have to wait till something you call. We will find somebody. It may take a few days, but we'll find somebody in your land. You won't even have to go there that will baptize you, that is a member of God's church, and you will be saved. But you can get baptized right now. You can get baptized. If you're here, you're a member of the church, and you've gotten off track. You fall into the category of the confession was made, but I'm not living anymore. I'm not walking according to the gospel. But Paul was clear in 1 Corinthians 12:13, by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body. And they've all been made to drink into one Spirit, whether Jew, Gentile, bond, or free. So you can drink the Spirit in for strength in the words that you will read as you take the spiritual meaning out of them, as Jesus said, for they are spirit and life. They will give you life again. So you've got to make your commitment again. You've got to renew the covenant, because now you have opposed the Lord. Don't worry about what was done. Worry about, am I going to stop? And will God guide me to do what's right now? Because he will. If you believe, you can't be afraid of seeking counsel. Sometimes people say, pray for me, but they never seek counsel. They pray for me and they go right back to the same square where they were at and they never get it. Say, well, I don't want nobody to know my business. Well, who you telling somebody? I guarantee somebody know your business. I guarantee it. Always happens. And that person can't help it. That's why you still haven't got rid of the problem. But God can. Through the saints, he will help you. Peter says it's saved. 1 Peter 3:21, a like fig where even baptism now saves us, not the putting away the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward God by the resurrection of Jesus Christ. He's in heaven at God's right hand. All angels, all authority, all power is subject to the Lord. Man, Jesus is great, brethren. There's nothing he can't help you do. There's no way you can fail unless you don't go to him. He says, even if, Revelation 2:10, the devil should cast you in prison, just stay faithful, he'll give you life everlasting. Still he'll give you life everlasting. Although you weren't able to carry out the things you want to do so much more, but you couldn't, you were in prison, He will still give you everlasting life. If you believe that, let the Lord guide you now. Be baptized. When we sit down, stay standing. If you're here, you're a member of the church. Brethren, the song says, oh, with needless pain we bear. They don't take these problems to the Lord in prayer. Why are you holding on to them? We talk to the lost all the time. We ask, well, what about the saints? You got to let the problem go. Take it to the Lord. Seek counsel. You don't have to talk to me. Seek counsel of the God of heaven's men, the people who know what to tell you to do, to read the word of God to you, the answer. Have your problem resolved so you can worship in spirit and in truth. Come now, together we stand and sing heaven's invitation.